What's up, everybody? This is Jason from Film Fanatic Productions. Thank you all so much for coming back to my channel because we are going to do something a little new on this channel. We are combining some of my two favorite loves, filmmaking of course, but also Minecraft. Yes, I've been an avid player and fan of Minecraft for close to a decade now, if not more. Since the very first days of Minecraft came out on iOS, that was where I got my first beginnings on Minecraft. But yeah, today we are doing a new series on this channel where I build some scenes from and settings from my favorite films into Minecraft, and hopefully this will be videos where we can explore, even kind of build upon these great stories that I personally love. And yeah, so today we're going to be doing that, and today is the first episode in that series, and the setting that I have built is from the film Wolfwalkers. Yes, Wolfwalkers, my personal favorite animated film. You guys might be a little surprised since I'm a huge lover of Disney, but no, it's an independent animation film. Is my number one favorite animated film. It's an animated film from 2020 by the great Irish cartoon studio Cartoon Saloon, and it was directed by Tom Moore and Ross Stewart. And yeah, this is a great film that it really kind of embodies what it means to grow up, what it means to be involved in a world basically beyond yourself and of what you've experienced in your past life. And yeah, this film is set in 1650 in Kilkenny, Ireland, which is also where Cartoon Saloon is headquartered, ironically enough. And yeah, it basically follows Robin. She's a settler from England who's in this Irish town that's occupied by Lord Protector, which is a play on of Oliver Cromwell. Basically, Robin and her father, Goodfellow. Her father is a hunter and of wolves, which is named Wolfwalkers, of wolves that threaten, according to Lord Protector, this town of Kilkenny. And we're going to explore this in Minecraft today. All right, so the first part of where we're at is we are at this little entrance, this little You guys in the starter film, we see when Robin kind of leaves the city of Kilkenny, the fort of Kilkenny. She walks through this huge forest, which is obviously the very densely forest of Ireland and of Central Ireland. And one of the things she first encounters is basically the traps that her father, Goodfellow, has set up. And this is a little thing. I'm kind of cool. We actually got to. I figured out how to import custom paintings into Minecraft. So I made this little one here, kind of a play on of the wolves posters that her father and other soldiers in the village kind of set up. And these pressure plates are kind of meant to display kind of the traps that they kind of would set for the wolves. We're going over here to this other part of the film when Robin comes apart this huge fort, this huge wall of vines, of leaves, which basically is the path from kind of the forest into this other world of Meb's mother, of their wolf clan, because they are wolves, mystical wolves that, people who are turned through wolf bites turned into wolves. And basically this is just a wall right now, but actually I just saw the other day that they're going to be updating Minecraft, hopefully this fall, with new blocks, including new leaves, which will be leaves that turn colors, which is really interesting. Hopefully, maybe we can revisit this. I'll revisit this later on in the year, and I can build kind of this area of the forest where you really see the colors and the foliage of fall really at their height, and I think it'll be a really cool thing because it's obviously just orange, especially orange for Meb, because orange is her color palette, whereas kind of white and kind of blonde is kind of the color palette of Robin. These two different color palettes, I think actually are going to really, I think orange for Meb specifically is going to be really good in that upcoming update. This is actually really cool because from here we can see the first view you guys will see of the fort, the town of Kilkenny. And that's where we're going to right with this. Alright guys, we are walking now through the oak leaves, past a wolf do not enter sign. This is the land of people, so no wolves allowed. But yeah, look at this. This is the entrance to Kilkenny. As you can see, it's a massive fort made of cobblestone. We have some potato and wheat fields that are scattered all around this area, And yeah, this is really the entrance of the fort, where basically all the crops and the livestock, sheep, cow, pig, horses even, are kept in Kilkenny. And basically also, you see why the horses kennels are kept very high. You see very high in growth. The fences are very high to protect from any wolves or any horse thieves from stealing these very valuable assets. Alright, this is a massive fort. The town of Kilkenny that I built, it's over 10,000 blocks in area. 10,000 blocks in area. This includes houses, churches, the fort itself of Kilkenny. This includes everything from homes to breweries to stores and shops to public meeting places. This is a massive fort that I probably spent a good probably 50 to 100 hours working on over the course of the past month or so. So the first stop on our tour is going to be the Goodfellow house, which is the house, of course, of Robin and her father. And I had to block it off from some villagers who are trying to raid this house. But yeah, let's go into this house. So it's very cramped, as you can see, but it's very, obviously, it's very much like in the film. Their residence is very small. They're not really that up in, especially her father, up in the military ranks. He's just seen as someone who just kills wolves and not really much of a leader at all. But still important, so they get their own kind of little house. You got a little kitchen area right here. You got of course, a chest where we got some meat, got the English flags, of course, a crossbow that Robin will use later on in the film, as you'll see. We'll also have the infamous, the Wolfwalkers, the wolf poster that when we first see Robin, that's what we first see is her shooting at with her crossbow. But yeah, this is it's pretty good. The blocks in Minecraft, I think, pretty match the film, especially last few years. With some more updates, these lanterns, the cobwebs, different colored beds, so it doesn't have to be red ones. It can be kind of the grayscale kind of beds. But yeah, it's built out of dark oak planks of wood, and also comes with some cobblestone for the walls and some ladders. Yeah, not too much in this area, but yeah, this is the home of the Goodfellows, Robin and her father. Alright, what's next? Alright, next we have the main plaza, the main gathering area of Kilkenny, where of course we have the stocks for anyone who doesn't obey the law of Lord Protector. But we also have this little meeting space, this little kind of, we really don't see this particular building at all in the film, but it's very, if you look at just the size of Kilkenny itself, it's very prominent. This house is, I would envision would be basically the town hall where you could have banquets, celebrations of military victories from Lord Protector. As well, we have we first see the three banners of course, the Union of Scotland, England, of course, of Ireland, and we see also, since the castle over there, we put the castle of Kilkenny is very massive in the film, and just for time, basically what I did was, I built some of the interior scenes of the castle, which went from a scullery to Lord Protector's chambers, to a whole lot of areas in the castle, which are just so massive, where I've kind of rebuilt them, but in other structures within this town that I built here in Minecraft. And we have the scullery, which you see Robin working later on in the film, dishwashing, some furnaces, plate stuff. Basically, the food for the entire castle was made. We have it here in this town center. We have some cauldrons of water, planks. We have a little fireplace which would be used to cook stuff, or keep the building warm, I should say. We have little furnaces over here where it would cook a whole variety of foods, from meats to vegetables, anything that the castle would want. And of course, some villagers are kind of infiltrating. We have some common shops actually. Some shops, some crafters. We have storages, Kilkenny stores. Also, we have a blacksmith that I made, a little blacksmith house we can go into. A little blacksmith with the anvil, of course, some furnaces and blast furnaces. Keep it cool. Look at a little guy right here. Look at that little guy. Going up here too. And we have, of course, the crafting table. We have a little living area right here. We have actually a little porch where this is basically the main row of, I would say, merchants. At least the most important merchants to the city are headquartered right here in the town square, as you would see. And also prominently in the entire city, we're going to see the flag standards of course, England, who are, of course, the rulers of this area of Ireland after the Cromwell invasion of the early 1650s. And yeah, one also interesting too, I like to note is that I put almost kind of Minecraft style things in parallel with the Wolfwalkers kind of themes. We have some creeper stuff, some ender dragon heads, and of course there again you see the cross of England. But yeah, we also have some other vendors here. We have some flower vendors. We have some chicken vendors. Ooh, a chicken vendor. Look at this one. Chickens for 10 pence. Inquire to Sir Clark. Sir Clark? Oh my gosh, where's Sir Clark at? Sir Clark, the chickens, we're here. This is where you buy your chickens for 10 pence. All right, so right now we are in the Abbot residence, which is the more affluent part of the city. And as you can see, I have the fort structure, so where almost the upper echelons of the society within the fort, the English settlers, are in one part of it, and then the Irish locals who also work in the fort live there, off in the kind of the western part, eastern part of the fort. But right here in this one, of course, we have a crafting table. We have a very nice scaffolding. Almost kind of looks almost like a French kind of Parisian kind of design, like for an English house, but little kind of French styled table here. We have a nice little painting of a Eskimo, and we have a woolly mammoth, and then we have, of course, English cross. Once again, very visible, very visible. This is a very patriotic fort because this is the conquest of England post that period before the Glorious Revolution, when Cromwell ruled over England, Scotland, of course, English invasion of Ireland in the 1650s. And this second floor we have here, we have some books here. We have, of course, the Irish flag of the conquest. We have some more different colored. We have red, very, very hot after dye red for English. So that this is a kind of living area. Some more flowers they might have bought from the merchants below. Some books, some chests, another cauldron right here. And yeah, this is actually a really interesting house of architecture because it's made of deep slate, cobbled deep slate, but it expands, actually gets bigger. So the second floor is bigger than the main floor. We have, of course, this overhang right here. This is noble of all these houses in this section of the house. And of course, they all use a communal to get water, communal well, where you get water down here. But yeah, this is the more affluent side of Kilkenny and the fort that I built. We have, of course, about 10 or so, 12 or so houses on this side. But yeah, let's go to the next location. All right, now we are in the main castle of Kilkenny. And this is where you really can see, the part which I'm really excited, like I said before, about the paintings. I was glad to get important and custom ones into Minecraft. As we see, we can actually get really into detail with this particular, the interior of the castle itself, the courtyard of the castle, as this is a very, very important part of the film where we see a wolf captured in the film, and we see Robin trying to basically release it. And we see this is obviously Lord Protector is obviously showing off this wolf and trying to get Goodfellow actually to kill the wolf over, of course, Robin's objections. And right here, we see in this picture, we really see the conquest of the beast of the forest that Oliver Cromwell, Lord Protector, really emphasized in the film. The courtyard is really centered in that kind of really showing the epitome of what is this new English Isles that Cromwell was building during this time in history. One thing too is just we really see the political state of Ireland and I guess as a whole England during this time period. It's something that the filmmakers did not stray away from, which I really loved and appreciated. And it really is grounded really in that time period of great upheaval, especially in Ireland, where we had English invaders going in and attacking cities, conquesting cities, and it was very, 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 very bloodshed-filled battles. But yeah, and this courtyard is really kind of the outward expression of the English, showing that they are in control of this people and of this country, unfortunately. And this over here, we actually have some horses with some iron on them, some gold, some leather, and some iron, some chain metal here. Of course, this is the horses that they would, take in a battle. As you see later on in the film, some horses come to battle later on. But yeah, this is the main courtyard. Of course, we have some more conquest heads that are up in effigy, I guess. This fort actually is really detailed. I mean, I put at least some detail in it, and of course, it's much bigger in the film. But yeah, I put some stairs here and multiple floors where you can see this is how the soldiers would move here. This is the kind of the more central part where soldiers would be posted, guarding the fort. Of course, guarding what's inside, which is a wolf, but also just the upper leadership of the fort of town, of course, England. We have some part up the top of it. We have iron golems also here, that I put in that are guarding the fort and represent, of course, the English guards. And yeah, that's the fort of Kilkenny. This was actually the first part of the town that actually built. I tried to put a lot of effort into the whole scale, to the levels of fort and fortitude, at least in this scale building. And yeah, I'm really proud of it. So that is the main fort. Alright, so now we are in the eastern part of the fort. You got some villagers here, where we kind of see how the Irish part of Kilkenny, the Irish inhabitants of Kilkenny, how they lived. But the main part, as you can see, is these buildings are, of course, they look pretty big on the outside. You see, okay, look at this. This is a great fort with these nice, well sturdy, well constructed buildings. But as you can see inside of them, as the villagers would get out of the way, as you see, these forts were I would assume where the Irish would live. In these forts, the workers of some of the main industries. Basically, there's just tight quarters where families with whole families, multiple families would live, and there's not really too much in terms of, obviously, of course, or flourishing, since these families probably didn't have a lot post conquering by the English. Of course, we just have a main furnace, some eating areas, maybe a few belongings, some chests up there. But yeah, this is a really compact area, which unfortunately would be where most of the Irish would probably spend, while the English lived in upper echelons, lived in just lavatories. The whole family had just that entire 3-story house we saw earlier. But yeah, and of course, we see some villagers kind of showing how crammed these areas probably would be. And of course, the town of Kilkenny is very much as a huge population. And yeah, this is a way where everyone just imagining the logistics, how everyone would basically be able to live in the society that's almost like compacted in this one little area of basically a whole massive forest just full of of open country land. And yeah, this is the more houses down here. As you see, we see more houses, part of a communal well for water. Not as, of course, ornate as the one we saw in the western part of the fort. But yeah, some more houses are over here. These are basically just the living quarters for a vast majority of the population, who just live in these massive basically communal homes where multiple families would stay. And if there's one thing that an English fort would have, would be, of course, a brewery for everyone to come to have a nice pint. Of course, this is the main part. Looks like it's very busy today. We have the main part where there's some barrels here where people would get their ales, various ales. Not too much, of course. Not too much in terms of selections in this time period, being in remote outpost in England. But yeah, still have a main area where people from all walks of life would come. They would meet and they would basically discuss anything from local issues to prices of grain and such like that too. As you can see, nothing you might notice is that this house is made of deep slate and cobblestone, while everywhere else is made virtually out of wood. And of course, the reason why I did this particularly was I would assume that while being, of course, wanting to, of course, expand his territory, expand his reach of the English settlements, he'd be very afraid of sieges and of potential invaders burying Kilkenny down. And of course, that's not uncommon for many during this time period, where it would have been Irish rebels, or maybe even a French or Spanish invasion somewhere down the line. So I envision he would make it very, very protective for him, whereas it wouldn't burn down, of course, of an invasion. But in here you see very opulent. This is the only building in the town that has this level of stone flooring. It's very these soul flames kind of shows what I would assume would be kind of that elegance and kind of that show of like, this is a advanced place. This is a place where someone powerful lives, of course, our protector. Of course, you have this meaning right here, and then of course on the top we have the only place where it's also carpeted. We have actually, I would assume, would be, if I was Lord Protector, maybe you would have like a carpet of the English cross, of course, with an enchantment table, inquisitive of what magic and sorcery might be in around these forests. And of course, that sorcery and that magic is a big part of the film. Of course, the Wolfwalkers, there are people who are turned into wolves while they sleep. And I believe that you'd be very interested to learn more about this, since I'm sure magic has always been a foothold and a very strong part of tales across England, across Europe, and just across all cultures. A sense of magic, of what we don't know, what witches, spells, conjurings. Maybe you kind of dabble in that too, even though he was kind of outwardly to his people kind of against that. And this also goes to the part where maybe have the Ender chest. If he was in Minecraft, an Ender chest. We have, of course, his metal his iron, to say his iron armor. Of course, he went to go to battle. We have the trappings, the most well sought after iron and steel, and a nice bed. And of course, can't forget, you see in the film where he keeps the wolf, the main wolf, and they're trying to escape it. I won't spoil it. Some of you guys do know who I'm talking about, who the wolf actually is, but I will not spoil it. But this actually would see in that same chamber where he kept the wolf, you also see heads of maybe beasts he's killed in his time. Yeah, these are kind of the beasts, and you see some of these horses, you see these heads, piglet heads, creepers, and such, and even Enderhead, if he was in Minecraft. He's slain a dragon. But yeah, this is the house of Lord Protector, I would imagine it. And yeah, I really enjoyed the chance to maybe think about what would Lord Protector, where would he live, what kind of house to live in. So this is probably the most interesting, kind of the toughest, I would say, kind of building that I built in the town of Cook County. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. This is a great project. I'm excited I got to build it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. This is actually a really great, I think, just a template for future videos I might do on the subject. If you guys want to, please comment below what favorite film, what scenes, what settings, what favorite locations from your favorite films would you like to see in living color in Minecraft. And of course, bearing they can be made out of blocks. Yeah, this is a great project, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And yeah, maybe we'll visit this town in the future. Maybe put some more stuff in here. Maybe add once leaves, like I said before, once leaves, colored leaves, and autumn leaves are in Minecraft. Maybe I'll add some more leaves. We can actually build some more area, especially in the forest. There's so much lore in the forest of Wolfwalkers that is just that's part of the film, is just the forest of Wolfwalkers and the forest of Ireland itself. It's such a big part. Look at this massive biome, this dark forest biome that created, and of course there's so much more we could do, I think, with this world, but that's with every project. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. Always remember, become a film fanatic.